All right, hey everybody. Coming to you from my weird basement guest room slash storage room office because that's the world we live in right now. Sorry it's taken so long to get put together. There's so much going on, and it's changing daily and sometimes hourly, and it's hard to get a handle on all of it. So I appreciate your patience as we try and figure all of this out. My initial thought was to put together this huge comprehensive summary that you could use and reference back to, but a very smart person pointed out that it might be best to keep updates and thoughts short and frequent as opposed to long and just once. So that's what it's going to be. First off, thank you to Dana for putting together most of the resources I used to get a real handle on what's happening. And even with what I figured out and learned, there's so much I don't know. So as we continue to see what's happening and learning more, we'll keep you updated. Early next week, Matt's going to do a summary of the new COVID-19 addendum, so you'll have that resource available to you. And as we continue through this particular shift, we'll continue to update you with things that can help you as we have to adapt to the changing environment. A lot of you have been asking how you can best help your clients at this time. We're seeing people back out of contracts and people not wanting to list their homes and people not wanting to see homes anymore. The most important thing to remember when helping your clients is that they're afraid. And that fear comes from uncertainty. If you look around, everybody's at least a little scared right now. We don't know if this COVID-19 thing will change the world for a few weeks or a few months or forever. It could change the way we do business for good, and we need to be prepared to be flexible and quick to adapt. We can't just roll with business as usual. So the question to ask yourself then is, what do you do when your clients are scared at other times in the transaction? Do you push them harder, or do you give them room to breathe and reassure them that things are well in hand and help them to make good, responsible, positive decisions? And if you're doing it the right way, for most people, there's always exceptions, but for most people, you're being patient and reassuring. You're not dropping the hammer on them. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to scare somebody who's already scared. And honestly, the news reporting on everything related to the housing market has been so irresponsible that it seems like anything could be true. The most important thing to keep in mind is that you're here to play the long game, not the short game. So the actions you take in the next 3 months really could determine how your next 3 years shake out. So you need to make sure that you're coming to this from the long-term point of view. So here's a few things we know. First, mortgage interest rates have been significantly more volatile. But if you have a well-qualified borrower who can pay their own closing costs, or if you have seller-paid closing costs worked into the deal, there's no reason your client can't still get a good rate. It takes a dynamic loan officer who's fast to respond to market conditions to make it work, but your clients don't have to be afraid of their interest rate if they've got their ducks in a row. Stack on top of that you can, as a last resort, if things aren't looking good, donate a portion of your commission to a rate buy down to get your client the right home. Now, you do that. Do you make a little less money this time? Yeah, you do. But did you just trade in goodwill with your client? Also, yes. And if you can stay in touch with that client over the long term, you're always going to have been the hero. And you'll always be the one that they send business to. And that's a long term, that's a long game play to make if it's necessary. So, it is important, though, to make sure you're working with a super responsive loan officer and that you keep in touch with what is happening. But if you do that, your client can still come out on top. Second, you might have buyers right now that are afraid to take the next step because their Uncle Frank told them the market's going to collapse. And you could ask them how long Uncle Frank has been saying that, or you can listen to him and acknowledge that it is indeed scary and that no one knows what's going to happen. But there are a lot of good indicators that the housing market will maintain steadiness through this crisis. I'll link to an article from marketwatch.com below that you can share with your clients or just read to understand why I'm saying that. No one has a crystal ball. But we have enough indicators that this market should stay steady because the last economic crash was caused by the housing market tanking. But historically, when the economy tanks for other reasons, the housing market has the capacity and the ability to stay strong. And I really think that's going to be the case this year as we move through this particular pandemic that none of us were ready for. Third, sellers. Sellers might be hesitant to list, they might be hesitant to show, and right now the watchword is patience. I've been telling my sellers to continue moving in the direction of getting the home listed, and when we come to the point of listing or not, we'll just check in with what's happening, and if it looks good, we list. If not, we just wait another week. Just keep repeating that cycle. All we're doing here is reducing the fear of uncertainty and giving our clients a clear path forward. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to stay responsive, you've got to stay patient, You've got to make sure your clients feel good about the direction that things are going. Last thing, we can't keep doing business as usual. We have got to adapt to the current social conditions. And the last time I met a client for the first time, I just said, I guess handshakes are out for now. And they said, I guess so. And we moved along. But it could get weirder than that. And you might need to start doing things differently. You might need to start having your first client meetings over a video call like Zoom. I'd recommend getting a Zoom account because there's a lot you can do with Zoom and conferencing with potential clients and sharing your screen. And let's be fair, if you're the one that's helping them and trying to keep their family safe instead of just getting the sell, they'll know you actually care about them. And I can try and put together a quick tutorial on Zoom later this week, but it's an asset, it's a tool that could prove invaluable to you in these times. And guys, there's going to be other things that come up. Like I said, I couldn't make this comprehensive today. It was just too much. There was too much for me. But we need to make sure that we're working together to find new and creative solutions to what's going on. We're going to try and update everybody at least twice a week, but me or Matt talking all the time is going to get really lame. So we might be tapping some of you to bring us your best ideas and then present them to our Unity family. At the end of the day, we're all in this together. And I think we have the best people the industry has to offer right here at Unity Group. So if we can come together, I really believe we can be on the cutting edge of what needs to happen here to get us through the craziness. But thank you for hanging with us and trusting Unity to be your professional home. We're going to keep doing these updates as long as we feel like they're necessary and as long as we feel like they're helpful. Monday or Tuesday, we're going to hit the new COVID-19 addendum. And then later next week, I'll get more in depth about the mortgage situation, how you can use the current market to your client's advantage. But for now, I'm going to drink some scotch, and we'll see you guys next time.